Hello, V Squad, and welcome back to another episode of VGIRLTV. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to my canal, the YouTube. And before we even start this video, I just want you guys to know that I will be letting you guys know that this is a trigger warning. I am going to be talking about some things that may be a little bit sensitive for some people. Okay, we will be discussing race related issues in some part. So I don't mean to offend anyone, but I know that this is a sensitive topic for some people. So before we get into this video, if you feel that you would be offended by this video, please click off now. Okay, guys, well, welcome back to the channel. And usually I'm always talking about like what I'm doing, just basically my day-to-day in Panama. But today I was actually scrolling down Instagram, minding my business. I mean, you can't really be minding your business if you are scrolling down Instagram, right? But whatever, you get the gist, right? So I was on Instagram, and I'm actually going to put up the article now. And for those of you who are watching, okay, I'm going to actually leave the article right here. And the article is about Jill Scott. So if you don't know who Jill Scott is actually a singer in the U.S. She sings R&B, blues, something along those lines. And she has a lot of great hits. But something that really caught my attention as to why I'm actually even bringing this up to you guys is because I'm starting to see a lot of celebrities speaking out against, not really against, but speaking up about a lot of injustices that they feel. A lot of them don't feel safe in the States. And it's super sad. It is super sad to see that they don't feel safe, right? I'm trying to find the article right now. I know I had it up, but literally every time I'm trying to do something amazing, something silly always happens. Let's go in. I swear to God, I literally emailed this article to myself so that I could have been super prepared, but I wouldn't be the girl if this didn't happen to me, right? So I'm looking up the article now. I'm using a new application, guys, on my phone, on my computer. So I'm still trying to figure out the perks and how to work this whole little system. But the more I practice, the more I will get better at this. So okay. So I ended up pulling up the article. And I should definitely screen record this while we're going so you guys can, you know what, I'm just going to leave the link to the article if you guys want to read it on your own, but I'm going to go ahead and read it to you. So the article is by Travel North. So if you guys are following, or if you're not following them on Instagram, check them out. They're a really, really good website. Well, Instagram page to follow. They give you a lot of tips about vacations and things of that sort. So it's all about traveling, right? All right, so it says Jill Scott is the latest celebrity considering moving from the U.S. as she's concerned for the safety of her 12-year-old son. So the reason why this particular article really got to me is because I know exactly how she felt. 8 years ago, my son was only 5 at the time. He was 4.5, 5 when I made the decision to move. And I felt the same way. Even though my son was so small, in the back of my mind, I'm saying, wow, he's only 4 years old or 5 years old at the time, 4.5. Okay, let's just round it off. And I totally get where I felt her. I felt her just even where she's coming from, because I'm looking at my son, even though he was so young, I'm thinking to myself, when he turns 12, what is going to happen? Statistically speaking, people usually, and this is sad to say, and this is facts, you guys don't have to listen to me. You can Google this up for yourself. You can Google this information for yourself and you can look it up, that by the time a Black child, especially a boy, is at the age of 6, they don't look at them as a child anymore. Okay. And it's super sad. It's super duper sad, especially when they're 12, right? 12-year-olds, in my mind, it's a 12-year-old. They're innocent. They're still kids at the end of the day. But just imagine look at all the things that has happened to 12-year-olds in the US. You know what I'm saying? So I totally understand where she's coming from when she said that she was considering leaving because she felt concerned for the safety of her 12-year-old son. I too felt that way. And at the time, this was around when the whole Trayvon Martin thing happened. And you guys know how that played out. So I was concerned back then. And that was just the beginning of what was going to come or what was to come, you know? So I totally feel her. So the article then goes on to say, during an interview with Jamel Hills, I hope I'm pronouncing this name correctly, at the Unbothered podcast, the Grammy Award-winning artist and actress is terrifying to raise her son in America. When Hill asks her, what is it like raising a Black boy in America's racial climate, she responded by saying it's terrifying because it doesn't matter if you have or you don't. All that matter is that you are brown. That's it, said Jill Scott. I totally feel her, guys. If you understand where she's coming from, please drop a comment in the comment section and let me know what your thoughts are, because I understand where she's coming from 100,000%. It is terrifying, okay? Because you can have money, but people don't know who you are. You know what I mean? And that should not mean anything like let me just specify that, because I don't want anybody to take it just the wrong way when I do say this. It doesn't matter if you have money or don't. Everyone should be treated equally, right? Okay, people should not be judged based on how much money you have, let alone they shouldn't base or have preconceived notions about you because of the color of your skin. So I don't want you guys to take it the wrong way and think that that's where I'm coming from, because that's literally not where I'm coming from. So she then goes on to say that what's especially concerning for Scott is that her son will be old enough to drive pretty soon, alluding to she's worried about his safety when he's on the road. So AKA, okay, if you guys don't know what that means, it means that when he's driving, being pulled over by police, what a lot of people don't understand. I mean, if you are not from the States, you wouldn't get it. And I do want to clarify this, and because I know there's people who follow my page and they are not from America, okay? So they don't really get what's actually happening. And there are people that are from America that watch my videos, and sometimes they may not see it because it's not their reality, right? And I don't take that away from anyone, and I don't hold that against anyone for not understanding someone else's reality because they don't live it. So if you don't live it, you can't relate. You know what I mean? But I have to speak my truth, and I totally understand where she's coming from, regardless of who understands it or don't. I hope that you guys take this video and take it as a way to educate yourselves, and not take it as an offense or take it as this is a way that we are dividing. Okay, we're dividing each other, because that's not the case. The best way for us to be able to move forward in a positive direction, and okay, for us to see some sort of change, is for us to understand each other, right? So if we understand each other, then maybe we can take step forward to something positive, okay, and being better. But for right now, if we all remain blinded, okay, and act like these things don't exist or are dismissive to people's feelings and people's reality, we'll never get anywhere, okay, with that. So with that being said, she's worried about her son's safety when he's driving. A lot of the times what we have to do is we have to train our boys, and I can't even say only boys, because I came across another disturbing video on Instagram with a woman that was involved. And the irony of this situation is that the cop in this situation was not Caucasian. He was also Black. So that's a whole nother video. But I'm going to stick to what we're discussing right now. Basically, we have to consistently train our kids on how to deal with police officers. We have to, not only police officers, people in the street, because there are people that are out there just rigging and ragging on people just because of the color of their skin. So it's important that we have to teach our kids. Our kids are not like regular kids. Our 12-year-olds aren't like regular 12-year-olds, unfortunately, right? We have to treat our 12-year-olds like young adults, okay? I know I do, even though we are not in America right now. One day my son may decide that he wants to live in America, and we go visit every summer and on vacations and stuff. I take him to the States. And it was really a reality check for him this year, but I'll get into that later on in the video. But we do this. We do have to talk to our kids and train our kids how to speak to cops, how to speak to police officer. Even when someone is aggressive with you, do not get aggressive back with them. You have to be able to control yourself and react based on logic and not emotions, because we don't have that opportunity to do that, right? So that is something that we have to instill in our kids. At first, I always thought it was my son, but now I have a daughter, and I realized even with her, I have to teach her the same thing. You cannot be an emotional creature. You have to learn how to react and go through life based on logic, think things through before you react, because you can find yourself in a situation that you don't want to be in. And then sometimes you may be able to, sometimes in situations you are listening and reacting logically, but because of how the other person reacts, things can go left. Unfortunately, things are out of your control. I mean, there's many cases where people were literally minding their business and they ended up in situations that God knows they should not have been in just because of the color of their skin. So with that being said, I understand exactly where she's coming from. I mean, my son really, another thing that we do have to consider when we do decide to move abroad because of reasons like this, we actually kind of, sort of, okay, I know somebody may come for me, but you guys got to hear me out before you judge, right? By keeping our kids in this type of bubble, we are kind of doing a disadvantage, and we mean well, and I am included in that as well. And why I say this is because when we leave the States and we go to certain places, we don't experience that height of racism. I mean, racism exists everywhere, right? But the height of racism in the U.S. is at an all-time high, considering the fact this is years later after the civil rights movement, and we're still literally repeating itself with history, right? I mean, it is what it is. When we do that, and our kids live in a world where they can be happy, they don't have to worry about certain things. When they are put in certain situations, they don't know how to react or deal with it. And I didn't realize that until this summer when we went to the States. And I know you guys see my last video about how crazy the States is right now, what New York City is right now. And my son was literally thinking that everything was peachy cream like it is in Panama. He wanted to go to the store by himself. Like, yeah, I'm just gonna go to myself. You won't let me go to the corner store by myself. I just gotta cross the street. I'm like, heck no, you're not going across the street by yourself. And this is just literally like across the street. Absolutely not. You're not going across the street by yourself. And I don't care what you say. He was very upset because he feels like I am smothering him and that I am trying to not control him, but I'm not allowing him to be himself, not allowing him to grow up, because he doesn't understand in his mind that he's only 12 and that there are things that you cannot do. And something as simple as going to the store, unfortunately, where we are, is not the best thing. Until he realized it for himself when we were in a situation where a homeless naked man approached him, thinking that he was by himself. Okay. I think after that situation happened, he kind of, and as traumatic as it may have been, because I don't think that he realized that before, like what the possibility of things that happen, because in his mind, it's not that big of a deal, right? I go to the park by myself. I do this by myself. Why can't I do it here? He doesn't realize that there is a huge difference. So I think that for those of you who are planning to move abroad, whether you're moving to Panama or wherever you are in the world. Yes, we are trying to give our children a better life and better opportunities, but it's important to still educate them of the dangers that can happen. Okay, the last thing that we need is a child that don't have no street smarts and then get warped into something else. So that is something that we should definitely keep in mind, guys. But back to the article, okay? She did say, just to know that he'll be on the road, just to know that he'll be away from the people that love him in the world and will decide whether he's guilty or something because he's brown. That's terrifying. It makes me consider this place, leaving this place often. She shares the sentiments of so many other Black parents in the United States, including former First Lady Michelle Obama, which I didn't know about this. Mrs. Obama told CBS every time they get in a car by themselves, talking about her kids, I worry about what assumptions is being made by somebody who doesn't even know everything about them, as we previously reported. So where's a place she would consider taking her family to? She said Holland. And just by listening to the interview, it's clear that Scott has put a lot of thought into the region of the Netherlands. She says, we like Holland. They are chilling. She told Hill, they have great health care. They ride their bikes everywhere. People are pretty fit. They speak more than Dutch. Most people speak 3 or 4 different languages, and that's dope. It's below sea level, so the food is well hydrated. Scott also says she loves the education system in Holland, calling it dope, and says that there are no confines on personality there. And then I'll leave the link or whatever so you guys can look at it yourself. But I think that this article was, for me, it actually like pulled me in. I was just like, oh my God, yes, I know exactly how you feel, but it's just so crazy that she's realizing that now when I realized that years ago. So guys, leave a comment in the comment section and let me know your thoughts about raising your kids out of the US. Let me know if that is something that you consider yourself, even if you do not have kids. Do you feel safe in the US right now in its climate? If you don't, if you do, whatever, leave it in the comment section. Let's talk about it, okay? Let me know how you feel. And let me know, I mean, it is what it is, guys. I'm not going to take offense to anything that you say. I think by now I've been on this platform for a couple of years, and some of you guys have been really cruel and try to like go in on me. But let me know if you understand where I'm coming from as a woman of color, raising children of color, and my decision to raise my kids out of the US. I mean, I love America. I'm not even going to lie to you. I love America. America has granted me opportunities that no other country has granted me. But in terms of safety, sometimes I just love my kids so much, and I just want to give them the best, and I want to give them an opportunity to live. I know that nothing in life is guaranteed. You can do your best to raise your kids the best way that you can, and things don't turn out the way that you want it, but at least I am trying, right? I'm trying, and I really just want the best for my kids. And me personally, I feel that the decision that I made to come here and have my children raised here was actually the best decision for me. Does racism exist? Yes, racism exists everywhere, okay? But it is minimal, right? It is minimal, and we feel safe. I feel safe for him. And there are laws that protect civilians against police brutality in the PTY. It is what it is, okay? It is what it is. I don't care what anyone says. I don't have the same experiences that I've had in the States when it comes to dealing with the police. I have never been attacked physically, but I have definitely experienced verbal abuse. And it's just life. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts on this video. Let me know what you think. Leave it in the comment section, guys. And as usual, thank you for tuning in. And before I go, I definitely want to let you guys know that we'll be doing more lives discussing things of this nature, okay? Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in. Peace and love.